In the bustling heart of a big American city, where skyscrapers pierce the sky and people rush past each other without a second glance, one quiet act of kindness began to change everything. Picture a tired single dad sitting alone at a plastic table in the company cafeteria, his lunchbox half empty, his eyes heavy with worry for the two little ones waiting at home. Then the CEO of the entire company walks over, pulls out a chair, and says, "You're eating with us today." What happened next still brings tears to the eyes of everyone who hears it. If this story already touches your heart, take a second to hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. This is Whispers of Heart 0.2, where we share the quiet moments that prove kindness still lives strong in America. Marcus Thompson was 38, a single father raising twin boys, Jake and Ethan, both 7 years old. Their mother had left 3 years earlier, chasing a different life, and Marcus had never once spoken badly about her in front of the kids. He worked the early shift as a janitor at Sterling Tech, a high-rise office building downtown. The pay was steady but thin. Most mornings he woke before sunrise, packed 2 little lunchboxes with peanut butter sandwiches and apple slices, kissed his sons goodbye at the neighbor's apartment where they waited for the school bus, and then rode the bus across town to scrub floors and empty trash cans before the executives arrived. He always ate lunch alone, not because anyone told him to, but because the main cafeteria felt like another world. The staff tables were filled with laughter and easy talk. Marcus sat near the service door with his thermos of coffee and a plain turkey sandwich, listening to the distant chatter while he calculated how many more hours he needed to cover the boys' soccer fees. One Tuesday in late October, the new CEO, Elena Vasquez, walked into the cafeteria. She was 34, sharp in a charcoal blazer, the kind of woman the business magazines called unstoppable. Most employees straightened when she appeared. Marcus kept his eyes on his sandwich. He didn't expect her to notice him. She did. Elena stopped at his table, smiled, and said, "Mind if I sit?" Before he could answer, she pulled out the chair across from him. "I've seen you every day for 3 weeks. You never join the others. Today you're eating with the staff." Marcus felt heat rise in his face. "Ma'am, I don't want to bother anyone." "You're not bothering anyone. You're part of this company. Come on." She stood and nodded toward the long table where the administrative team sat. Hesitant, Marcus followed. The conversation paused for a second when he arrived. Then someone scooted over and made room. Elena introduced him by name. "This is Marcus. He keeps this building running while the rest of us sleep. Treat him like family." For the first time in months, Marcus laughed at a joke that wasn't his own. He learned that the receptionist's daughter had the same teacher as his boys. He learned that the IT guy also packed leftover spaghetti for lunch because money was tight. The hours slipped by. When the group stood to leave, Elena touched his arm. "Same time tomorrow." The next day, Marcus arrived early, unsure whether she had been serious. She was already there, waving him over. Day after day, the pattern continued. Slowly, the staff stopped treating him like the man who emptied the trash and started treating him like one of their own. Someone saved him a seat. Someone asked about the twins. Someone offered him half a homemade cookie because kids always leave the good ones. 2 weeks later, Elena's mother, Rosa, visited the office. Rosa was 71, small and bright-eyed, the kind of woman who still baked bread from scratch and believed a stranger's story deserved full attention. Elena brought her to the cafeteria at lunchtime. When Rosa saw Marcus, she stopped cold. "You look just like my late husband when he was young," she said, voice soft. Same tired eyes that still find a way to smile. Without waiting for permission, she sat beside him, took his hand, and asked about his boys. Marcus found himself telling her everything. The nights he fell asleep reading the same story twice because the twins insisted, the fear that he wasn't enough, the pride when Jake scored his first goal. Rosa listened as if nothing else in the world mattered. When he finished, she squeezed his hand. "You're doing better than you know. A father's love is the strongest roof a child can have." Then she opened her purse, pulled out a small foil-wrapped package, and set it in front of him. "My special cinnamon bread. For the boys. Tell them a grandma somewhere is thinking of them." Marcus tried to refuse. Rosa only shook her head. "Kindness isn't a loan. It's a gift. Pass it on when you can." That evening, Marcus heated the bread, sliced it carefully, and watched his sons' faces light up. "Who made this, Dad?" Ethan asked, crumbs on his chin. "A kind lady at work," Marcus answered. She said to tell you a grandma is thinking of you. The boys decided right then that they would draw pictures for her. The next morning, Marcus carried 2 crayon drawings of stick figure families and a careful thank you written in Jake's best handwriting. When Rosa saw them, she pressed the papers to her heart and cried quiet, happy tears. From that day, the cafeteria table became something more. Rosa visited every Thursday. She brought extra bread, asked about soccer practice, and once even helped Marcus fill out a scholarship form for an after-school program he hadn't known existed. Elena watched her mother and the single dad become friends and felt something shift inside her own busy heart. She began staying later some evenings so Marcus could leave early for parent-teacher conferences. She approved a small raise that came with no announcement, just a quiet note in his paycheck. She never made a speech about it. Kindness, she had learned from her mother, works best when it doesn't need an audience. Winter arrived. One icy morning, Marcus's bus broke down. He called the office, voice tight with apology. Elena answered the phone herself. Stay with your boys. We'll cover the floor today. Family first. When the company holiday party came, Marcus almost stayed home. He had nothing fancy to wear. Rosa called him the night before. Wear whatever is clean and come. The boys are invited too. We have presents. That night, under soft lights and paper snowflakes, Jake and Ethan met the people who had become their father's second family. Rosa handed each boy a wrapped book and a warm scarf she had knitted herself. Elena knelt to their height and told them their dad was one of the bravest men she knew. Marcus stood a few steps back, eyes shining, realizing he no longer felt invisible. Months later, Marcus was offered a daytime maintenance supervisor role with better hours and benefits. He almost turned it down out of fear he didn't deserve it. Rosa looked him straight in the eye and said, "Accept it. Then use the extra time to coach the Twins team. Kindness given to you is meant to keep moving." He accepted. The first Saturday he coached, both boys scored. After the game, they ran to him shouting, "Dad, did you see?" He lifted them both at once, laughing, and over their heads he spotted Elena and Rosa standing near the fence, waving. They had come just to watch. In a country that sometimes feels too busy for small moments, this story reminds us that one open chair, one shared meal, one grandmother's bread can rewrite a family's future. Marcus still works at Sterling Tech, but he no longer eats alone. The staff table is his table now, and every so often a new employee sits by the service door looking uncertain. Marcus is the first to walk over, pull out a chair, and say, "You're eating with us today." Kindness doesn't need a spotlight or a stage. It only needs one person willing to notice another. Somewhere right now, a tired parent is packing a lunchbox. A stranger is sitting alone. A child is waiting for a parent to come home with a smile instead of worry. You hold the power to change that picture. Offer the seat. Share the bread. Speak the gentle word. The ripples will travel farther than you can imagine, and the world will be softer because you chose to care. Thank you for listening with your whole heart. If this story moved you, pass it on. Someone out there needs to believe that kindness still wins.